Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy Gabe with Designer Fan TV. Back at you another video, man. Like the content in this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Like the content in this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, man. Ravens content coming at you on a daily basis. And so yeah, yo, you liking what I'm saying? Definitely hit that subscribe button, like I said before. Okay, so look, going back to the Bills game, emotions are down. We can look at it with a clearer vision, clearer thoughts. And I take away that there was two major positives in terms of players from that game. I'm gonna talk about one of them today, but I just want to mention somebody else too. Justin Madubuike is breaking out into the player that we've been waiting for him to break out into for the last probably 2 seasons. It's happening now this year, and he's taking that next step. He's dominating the games, whether it's rushing the passer, whether it's stopping the run. He's doing both really effectively and really well. And I love what I'm seeing with Justin Madubuike. He is starting to assert his dominance and actually take over games in the middle of the defensive line. Excuse me. So that's beautiful to see. Now the other takeaway from the Bills game is that JK Dobbins looks extremely explosive, and he looks like he's ready to take on a more complete workload as the Ravens' full-time RB1 kind of guy. All right. Now, versus the Bills, he played 50% of the snaps, which is a number for me that was too low considering how well he was playing. Now, I said before in previous videos, I understand why he played that amount of snaps. The Ravens are trying to ease him back in. I get all of that. But just with the game flow and how it was going, it was clear that I think he needed more touches and things of that nature. Now, Justice Hill did have a good game. That's not to say Justice Hill didn't play well. Obviously, he got hurt on that long run that he had, which was unfortunate. But even without that, I still think that JK showed to be the better player, which we know that he is. Now, I'm probably going to put some of his highlights up here somewhere just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But JK Dobbins showed and proved that a dynamic running back can help cover up some deficiencies on the offensive line. Okay? Now, listen, I'm not going to say his stats were crazy or anything like that. We're talking about 13 carries, 41 yards, 1 touchdown. We're talking about 4 targets, 4 catches, so that's good, and 1 touchdown, 22 yards. He was PFF's highest graded Raven with a 72.8. So I'm not saying that that's not the highest grade in the world or anything like that, but it just goes to show that throughout the game he was gaining strength and that he was the Ravens' best offensive player, and they needed to lean on him some more. And I feel like that's something that they didn't do when it was time for him to. When it was time for the Ravens to really ball control and do things like that and lean on J.K. Dobbins, they didn't fully necessarily lean into that all the way. All right, so that's what I liked. Okay, it was the fact that J.K. Dobbins is back. He's healthy. Now, what I was saying before previously was the fact that now we know that the Ravens had trouble with their offensive line, run blocking. The first couple of weeks, we were wondering what's going on with this run game. He doesn't look good, things of that nature. I think 2 things happened since then. Okay, obviously, I think Falele has added some more power on that left side of the offensive line. Big guy, can move people, things of that nature. I think Lamar Jackson has decided to run the ball a little bit more, and that's quite obvious. I mean, I think last game he had around between 10 and 12 carries again, okay? So that puts more pressure on the defense. But lastly, it's having explosive playmakers in the backfield. When you can hand the ball off to J.K. Dobbins, you can hand the ball off to even Justice Hill, that gives the defense a different threat. Mike Davis is more of a power back, a little bit stiffer, not exactly explosive. Kenyon Drake, throughout the first couple of weeks, showed why the Raiders were comfortable releasing him. And also the Ravens probably weren't using Kenyon Drake to his fullest capabilities and what that he was good at, and I get all of that as well. But he showed that he wasn't the guy to lead this offense. Okay? Now, J.K. Dobbins, it's amazing that when he comes back and he comes in, now we're not really talking about this team can't run the ball effectively, right? We're not talking about that anymore because now we have a guy back there who we trust and believe can make something happen. This even goes back to last week versus the Patriots for J.K. Dobbins. When I saw him, it might have been a 3-yard run. I mentioned this before in the Patriots recap, but guy comes unblocked. J.K. Dobbins does a spin move, makes the guy miss. Only picks up a couple yards. But if that's Kenyon Drake, if that's Mike Davis, that's a negative run play right there. Minus a yard. We get nothing from that. Okay? But when you have talented players, they can cover up some deficiencies. And J.K. Dobbins is looking like he's back to that kind of form and that he's ready to do that once again. And the Ravens are going to need it, okay? Because the Ravens are at the time right now, they are a bad second half team offensively. All right. When I was going through yesterday, what we learned about the Baltimore Ravens, like one of the pictures I put up there was about the Ravens being one of the lowest scoring teams in the entire NFL in the fourth quarter. Okay. I believe that the Ravens have scored somewhere around 9 points through the first 4 games in the fourth quarter. Unacceptable. Now, why does that bring me to J.K. Dobbins? That brings me to J.K. Dobbins because J.K. Dobbins can help put points on the board, control the clock, keep this offense on the field so there it doesn't have to lean so much on Lamar Jackson. Okay? The Ravens are still, at times, the Lamar Jackson show. And when you're that heavily dependent on your QB or any player in general, if that player has an off day, your team can suffer. I think the Ravens know something. I think they went through some of that. And I think that's quite obvious. Okay? But if J.K. Dobbins is continuing to show and prove that he's back to being who he was before, that's only going to boost this offense up and have this offense reach a new height, a new level. Okay. Now, guys are coming back as well. So Gus Edwards is coming back. That's going to help out. And then defensively, you got guys like Tyus Bowser. But keeping it with the offense and keeping it with J.K. Dobbins. Okay. The Ravens, when they drafted J.K. Dobbins, they drafted him to be the guy to take over this team and really be the workhorse running back. And I think that we missed out on that last year because of the injury. All right. Now, what the Ravens can do to even extend J.K. Dobbins even further is obviously throw him the ball more. I like the 4 targets and things of that nature, but get him involved even more in the pass game. I think I saw something that he said he lined up in the slot about 4 times, backfield about 30 times. So move him around. I like that. Keep him where the defense doesn't know exactly where he's always going to be or what he's always going to do. That's how they can help bring some unpredictability to this sometimes predictable offense. Okay. So with Dobbins ready to take a full workload, maybe the Ravens can get back to running the ball effectively where we don't have to all say it's on Lamar Jackson. All right. The Ravens on Sunday versus the Bills, I saw a team that can actually competently run the ball without always having to say, hey, Lamar, play breakdown, scramble for the first down. And he's still going to do that because that's part of who he is. That's part of what makes him a great player. So he's still going to do that. But with J.K. Dobbins here, it allows him to take pressure off of himself where the whole thing doesn't have to be on him. And I think that's the biggest thing. Okay. And like I said, you've seen the highlights that I have in this video. J.K. Dobbins is looking explosive. He's turning the corner. He's putting his foot in the ground and making guys miss. Not worried about, the past injury. And that's one of the things that you worry about with guys. Are they going to be scared to, hey, plan on that foot hard, cut aggressively? I'm not seeing that fear in him, all right? This game for Sunday versus the Bills was the first time J.K. Dobbins was able to play in front of a full NFL crowd, just not even the Ravens, just a full NFL crowd in general. His rookie year was obviously the COVID year, and then last year he got hurt. He was pumped up. He was ready to go. I was excited watching J.K. Dobbins play. And I think that this guy is the guy that's going to help us really take this offense to the next level, honestly. The Ravens have a really good offense right now, whatever, number 1, number 3 in the league and things of that nature. But they've been missing the running game. They've been missing a running back. Now, even more than ever, with Justice Hill going down with that hamstring injury, which it looks like it's probably going to keep him out multiple weeks. I mean, I don't know an exact number. Harbaugh didn't give an exact number or anything of that nature. But now it's really time for J.K. Dobbins to be the show. And I think if Roman leans on him, he's not going to be disappointed by what J.K. Dobbins can give him. Because this offense needs a strong running game. It just does. Now listen, Lamar is throwing the ball better than ever. I think these receivers are playing pretty well. But you got to be able to keep teams balanced. You got to be able to keep the defense guessing. And oftentimes with the Ravens, depending on personnel, is way too easy to predict what they're going to do. Way too easy. If certain guys are on the field, you know it's a run play. If certain guys are on the field, you know it's a pass play. They have to get out of that kind of predictability. And the way to do that is keeping the same personnel on the field and calling different plays out of that personnel. Now, J.K. Dobbins allows him to do that because he's a good receiving back. He's also just good between the tackles. He's going to outside zone. Any kind of run you want to do, he can do. So now, when he's on the field, you're not sure what the Ravens are going to do. All right. Whereas that if I had King Drake on the field, I could probably say it's going to be a pass, right? Even though they did run the ball with King Drake, they did, but I could probably say it's going to be a pass. If Mike Davis is on the field, I could probably even say, we're probably leaning towards the run right here, okay? But J.K. Dobbins being a mix of both allows the Ravens to be able to do so many more things on offense, and I think that we're really going to truly see the full potential of this offense come now that J.K. Dobbins is back. Okay, so look, I just want to drop this quick little video saying that it's J.K. Dobbins' time to really take over this offense, to really be the catalyst, the RB1 that this team needs. And if the Ravens choose to lean on J.K. Dobbins, this will open up the offense and take it to another level. So that's my thoughts on it, man. It's your boy Gabriel, just another Fantasy TV. I'm out.